Good morning. I. Good morning. Today is December 28th, 2025. The time. Oh, I'm not wearing my watch, but I think it's 8:30 a.m. And I tried recording a video at 6:30 when I was drinking my coffee and sipping on my water. And I tried recording it on my webcam, but I don't know, for some reason my photo booth is not working. I don't even know why. I talked about a lot of things. I was in such a flow state when I was recording, and then when I stopped to see how it was, it didn't get recorded, and it was just a disappointment in itself. But here I am doing it again, and this time might be better than before. I don't know. I won't put any cuts or anything. I won't try to fill the spaces. I'm just going to try to keep it as authentic and real as possible, because I think that is something I need in my life right now, especially from my own self. Because I think life's much better that way, and I would much rather have people who are aligned to me watch this and resonate with it rather than just like this mindlessly showing up on someone's page or on someone's account that doesn't really care much for these things. I basically talked about the fact that how addicted we are to our phones. And I know that this is like every second person talking about it every single day, and doesn't matter to me. Um, the thing is that I was recording it on my webcam, and my phone at the time was kept in a different room. It was charging in a different room, and I had that break for an hour or two, and it just felt great. It felt extremely amazing. It's crazy how, I wouldn't say light, but how less chaotic my brain felt at the moment. It's crazy. Is it though? I don't know, but it felt really good. And I have this app on my phone called Minimalist Launcher. It basically blocks all your distracting apps for as long as you need them to be blocked. And for me, it's mainly Instagram and YouTube, because that's where I go down those rabbit holes, those inescapable rabbit holes. It's crazy. But I have been doing really good. I think I had been doing really good until a week ago. I was just using Instagram and YouTube between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. The rest of the time, it would just remain blocked. And not that I was doing anything special with my time when I wasn't using them, but it was still less distracting, and I was still a little more present than I usually am. A little more present than not being present, if that makes sense. I think I'm just thinking and speaking. So I turned off the app. I turned off that setting where it blocks all the apps. So I had access to every single app at every single moment of the day. And I think that is where the catastrophe happened. Because why was I waking up every single day and going straight on Instagram and YouTube? Like, why does it even occur to us? It's like knowing a particular behavior, knowing a particular habit is going to be extremely detrimental. Why do we do it? Why do I sabotage? It's a question that almost everybody asks to people, to themselves, but it is a very common question. And the answer to that question is that because it's easy, it's convenient. Why do I sabotage even though I know that the consequences are going to be detrimental? Why? Because it's convenient, because you're used to it. Why are we giving it a second thought? It's easy. It's easy to sabotage. Just like it's easy to not sabotage. But because I'm used to sabotaging, this is what I do. Funny how that works. Um, I have also been rereading this. This is a gem. I mean, for the people who've read this book, they know what I'm talking about. And if you just read the book and move on with your life, you won't really understand how beneficial it is once you apply all the principles mentioned in this book. I read this book for the first time back in 2021 when I was young. My frontal lobe wasn't fully developed. And I read it to fit in. Like, I'm just going to read this self help, personal development book and I'll be fixed. That was the mindset back then. I mean, almost 4.5, 5 years ago. But I picked it up again 4.5 years later. And I realized this book is packed with value. If you truly read between the lines and you understand what the author is trying to say, there's this one thing that James Clear repeatedly says throughout the book. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. When I read it back in 2021, I did not understand what he meant. I was like, yeah, just another, line. But now it's something so iconic and something so real because I've been applying it and I can see differences in my life. Not huge differences because, again, atomic habits. Tiny changes, remarkable results. I, just like so many other people, have been totally blinded by just the joy of having goals. I want to earn $1 million. Great. No one's ever stopped me. So why do I not have the $1 million yet? Because I like to dream. Because I don't like to do the work that gets me to the dream. That's why. A lot of people dream of having $1 million. There are so many millionaires in the world. What makes them different than the people who don't have $1 million? And that gap, that bridge, is the action. That's it. I know it sounds unbelievably easy. It's like, that's it. Yeah, that's it. But the irony is that it's not even an irony, actually. It's the reality. It is easy. It is easy. What we don't really account for when we're reading books like this or when we're making plans or strategizing and making like a 30-step plan to achieve that goal is that how different theory is from practicality. One thing that the theory does not really account for is how different and gut wrenching the journey is once you pursue it, once you try to walk on that path. The theory does not know the kind of thoughts you're going to have once you start pursuing your goals. The theory does not know what kind of emotions you will be going through. The theory does not know what circumstances are you experiencing in that moment. Not that they matter. I mean, 90% of the time they don't. But that's what is not mentioned in the books. If you eliminate all of those things, it is that easy. But that's the fun. And that's also sad in a way that we can't eliminate that. I cannot control my thoughts. I cannot control my emotions. If I'm sad, I'm sad. If I'm happy, I'm happy. That's the bottom line. But me trying to achieve my goals and me also experiencing emotions or sitting with my thoughts, Those two things are not mutually exclusive. And that is something that I realized this year. It changed everything for me. So, yeah, I mean, I can be sad, but I can also pursue my dream while being sad. I was never meant to sit around and wait and just be like, oh, I'm sad right now. I'm just gonna wait for myself to be happy, and then I'm gonna do it. That is what separates doers from dreamers. They don't care about how they're feeling. That is why when people say follow the plan, not your mood, that's what they mean. It's so weird because I know that I'm not going to edit this video and I'm just going to put it as it is. And I'm like fumbling, you know. I'm used to just editing out spaces, but I'm not going to do that this time. I think that's what makes us human, just ourselves. Yeah, that's all I guess. I feel like with consistency we can achieve anything we want. I'm not in a place to say that with 100% certainty, although I can, because I have been consistent in many areas of my life and I have gotten results. There are so many areas that I haven't, and that's the reason why I haven't, because I haven't been consistent. That's the only key to success. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, when I recorded the video on my webcam, which did not get recorded, I was in such a flow state because it just felt so authentic. Not that this doesn't, but that was just the ultimate thing. And I have been meaning to wake up early and go to bed on time at like 10:30 p.m. and just wake up early, have those 2-3 hours of the day, first 2-3 hours of the day to myself. Even if I'm doing nothing, it doesn't really matter. I could just journal, which I did today, therapeutic as hell. So, yeah, I think I'm on my quest to improving myself, living up to my potential, fulfilling my own expectations. That's what I want to do. Be honest, be authentic, be genuine, and find my place in the world, and just accept myself by showing up. That's it.